Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Nandini from the Department of CACI. Today we're gonna discuss about Jdbc classes and interface under the subject database management system. So first let us see the introduction to Jdbc. Jdbc, that is Java Database Connectivity, is an API that allows the Java application to connect to the database and manipulate data, and it provides a standard interface for accessing relational databases. Java programs can use JDBC to execute SQL queries, receive result sets from the database, and conduct other database related actions, including inserting, updating, and deleting entries. And JDBC is a set of classes and interfaces that defines a standard method of connecting with a database. JDBC's primary classes and interfaces are driver, connection statement, prepared statement, callable statement, result set, and SQL exception. JDBC is a type space, efficient, and portable database access method. It removes the need to build specialized code for each database management system, as well as reduces the amount of code that must be written and maintained. And let us see the JDBC steps. The following are the steps required in connecting to the database using JDBC. These are the fundamental steps for connecting to the database and performing CRUD task with JDBC. Load the JDBC driver. Before the Java program can connect to the JDBC, it must first load the suitable JDBC driver. JDBC drivers are classified into four types, that is JDBC, ODBC bridge driver, native API driver, and connect protocol driver and thin driver. The driver you required is determined by the database to which you are connected and your requirements. And next, establishing a connection. Once a JDBC driver is loaded, you can connect to the database by calling the driver manager, that is get connection function, and inputting the database's URL and credentials. And build a statement. Once a connection has been established, you may create a statement object to run SQL instructions. A statement might be basic SQL query or the series of SQL instructions. Next is execute the SQL statement. Depending on the kind of SQL command, you may execute the statement by invoking the execute query and execute update and execute methods. Execute query is used to select statements. Execute update is used to for insert, update, and delete options, and other data manipulation operations. And execute is used for any form of SQL command and process the result. If the SQL command is a select statement, the result set returned by the execute query function may be processed using the object to obtain the data from the result set. You may use methods such as next or getInt or getString and so on. Close the connection. When you are through the working with the database, call the terminate function on the connection object to close the connection. Like let us see some of the JDBC driver types. Type 1 bridge driver converts JDBC calls into ODBC calls. Type 2 native API driver use a database a specific API. Type 3 middle tier driver communicates with the database server. Type 4 JDBC net pure Java driver that is communicates directly with the database. Next, JDBC API. Database access provides method to establish a connection to the database. Data manipulation includes interfaces for executing SQL statements and processing results. Exception handling defines exceptions specific to database operations. JDBC interfaces, connection interface, statement interface, and result set interface. First, let us see the connection interface. Establishes a connection to the database and returns a connection object. And statement interface defines method for executing SQL statements and retrieving results. And result set interface represents the result of a database query. And JDBC classes. The first class is a driver manager class. Manages a list of database drivers. Connection class represent a connection to the database allowing SQL statements to be executed. Statement class executes a static SQL statement and returns a result set. Jdbc connection. Create a connection. Use creating a connection, we should use the driver manager get connection, that is URL, username, password to establish a connection. Send statement. To send a statement, invoke the method of the statement object to send SQL comments to the database. To process the results, retrieve and process the results using the result set object. JDBC statement. There are two steps in the JDBC statement, that is process step and execute step. Process step is the step 1. Obtain a statement object by calling the create statement method of the connection object. Step 2 is the execution step. The step, that is execute the SQL statement using the execute query or execute update methods. JDBC result set. Let us see how it is used. Get row returns the current row number. And the next is used for the moves the cursor to the next row in the result set. Get string, that is in column index, returns the value of the specified column as a string. And let us see briefly some of the interfaces and classes of the JDBC. Driver manager. This class manages the JDBC drivers, and you need to register your drivers to this. And it provides methods such as register driver and get connection. And next is a driver. This interface is a base interface for every driver class. That is, if you want to create a JDBC driver of your own, you need to implement this interface. If you load a driver class, implementation of this interface. Next is a statement. This interface represents a static SQL statement. Using the statement object and its methods, you can execute an SQL statement and gets the result of it. It provides a method such as execute, execute batch, and execute update, etc. to execute these statements. Next is a prepared statement. This represents a pre-compiled SQL statement. An SQL statement is compiled and stored in the prepared statement, and you can later execute this multiple times. You can get an object of this interface using the method of the connection interface named as a pre-statement. And next is a collabable statement. Using an object of this interface, you can execute the stored procedures. This returns single or multiple results. It will accept input parameters too. And you can create a collabable statement using the prepared call method of the connection interface. Next is a connection. This interface represents the connection with a specific database. SQL statements are executed in the context of the connection. This interface provides methods such as close, commit, rollback, create statement, prepare call, prepare statement, set auto commit, and set save point, etc. And next is a result set. This interface represents the database result set, a table which is generated by executing statements. This interface provides better and update methods to retrieve and update its content respectively. Result set metadata. This interface used to get the information about the results such as the number of columns, name of the column, and data type of the column, schema of the result set, table name, etc. And it provides methods such as the get column name, get column type, table name, get schema name, etc. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe.